Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the KONTAINEROZ podcast. The podcast is sponsored by PortPro, the leading operating system for drayage carriers. Schedule a demo today at portpro.io, and don't forget to mention KONTAINEROZ for 10% off. In the studio today, I got Adrian Rodriguez. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Adrian.
First of all, thank you, Luis, for the spot here. Appreciate it, brother. So, like Luis introduced, my name is Adrian Rodriguez. I've been in the drayage industry going about 11 years. Started with a drayage trucking company, and now venturing out, starting no business, which I'll talk about it in a few moments.
How'd you get into trucking?
I got into trucking back in about 2011.
Don't forget to speak into the mic.
2011, I was unemployed. I was working for a cell phone recycling company for about 5 years, and the company relocated to Florida. So operations closed down here in California. You know, we were giving a big severance pay. I had savings, so I decided to take some time off to kind of enjoy, life, since I've never taken vacation. I never called in sick. I never did none of that. So I'm like, hey, why not? It's kind of like a free vacation. So I planned to take 3 months off, and I took 2 years off.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
And you ran out of money in 2 years, or just you ran out of money before then? But you said,
No,
fuck
it wasn't about the money. It was just more like a lifestyle that you kind of picked up in those 2 years.
Did you run out of the money or not?
No.
Oh, damn, boy.
I mean, yeah. Eventually,
Yeah.
you start running out, but that wasn't
The reason.
the reason. Yeah, it's just the lifestyle. You get lazy.
Mhm.
You don't want to do anything. Start gaining weight. Just a poor lifestyle. So at first it's good. You wake up late. You call your friends. Hey, let's hang out. This was when I was in my early 20s. So
Okay.
it was like, let's hang out every day kind of deal. Let's go eat at restaurants. Let's go. So yeah, we lived it up for a few years until it kind of got boring, and I said, I need to get back to work. So one of my sister's friends worked at one of the biggest CES companies here in Southern California, and there was an opening for inventory clerk or yard clerk. I believe it was a yard clerk, and I just needed a job, and I went for the interview. I got hired. I started working there. I worked for maybe 6 months, and then I got offered to drive the yard goat. So that was fun. I did that for another, 4 months.
Yeah.
And then I kept it cool with the general, I don't know if it was general manager or dispatch manager there. So he offered me to dispatch at night. And I said, yeah, I'm down to learn, So he brought me in the morning to kind of overshadow the morning dispatcher. Then a few months later, he threw me at nighttime with another guy. And we took care of about 40 drivers. So that was my biggest, till today, that was my biggest dispatch role, 40 drivers. But it was so easy. It was just dispatch them, pick them from the port, bring it back to the yard. There was no door deliveries. It was all yard pulls. So just managing, make sure the containers came out, make sure they're within the driving hours. So it was an easy dispatch. Learned the ropes. And then I jumped to another company where I took care more of the customer service. So I started dealing with terminals, steamship lines, the actual customer, making appointments. So that was a learning curve as well. How to speak to people. Learned that. I did a little bit of accounting. So just a little bit of everything in all the different companies that I worked. I worked for maybe 6, 7 different small companies, little startup companies. And they all have a different style of dispatching, running their company, treating their drivers, treating their employees. So you kind of learn from every little bit of companies, and you kind of have a like a master plan saying, one day if I have a company, I want to do this different, or I want to treat my employees better, or so yeah, it was a dream for a while.
They were all drayage companies?
They were all drayage companies.
Oh, okay.
They were all drayage companies. Some were custom brokers that had a few trucks, that ran, loads. But yeah, it was a good learning experience in every company, whether if it was good or bad. It was I always learned from it. Until about 2017, we got the opportunity to start a trucking company, drayage company.
Okay. It's going to get good, but as a kid, did you know, like, is this what you wanted as a kid? Do you remember what you wanted to do as a kid?
I remember my dream as a kid was to be a cook.
A cook?
Yeah, cook. I always had the passion to cook. I always overshadowed my mom cooking in the kitchen, I always, metía la cuchara ahí, trying to stir her sopa or whatever she was making.
Yeah.
So that was always a passion, and wherever I went, was a taqueria or wherever you can visually see the cook, it was like, whoa, man, like that's my dream job.
Why did that change over the years?
I had some jobs, restaurant jobs.
Yeah.
But I guess it was just like more of a hobby, passion, that kind of deal. I never pursued going to chef school or any of that. It was just like, whoa, as a kid, that was my biggest dream. I wanted to be a cook.
What's your hustle as a kid? Did you have a hustle as a kid? How did you know you were, you want to be a businessman?
As a kid, actually, yeah. It's crazy you brought that up. Middle school, it was a Pokemon era. So it was maybe 5th or 6th grade, maybe 98, 99. It was Pokemon cards were a hit.
The
Holographics, yeah.
Pikachu.
Yeah. If you had Charizard,
yeah.
Yeah, you were the man.
Yeah.
I remember having a bunch of Pokemon cards. I had a folder with the little sleeves, and I used to take them to school. And there was this one time, this kid, he offered me $50 for a holographic, and I said, "Oh shoot, like really? $50 back then was a lot of money, especially for a kid."
Yeah. So
So I sold him the card. The next morning, he brings like $200. I guess he, mom's wallet or something, And so I started selling cards to him. So whatever brand new card I came up with, I brought it the next day to school, and he was a man. So at times I had $200 in my pocket as a 6th grader. Going home, my mom's asking me, "Where'd you get all this money?" There's not, it wasn't dirty money. It was a little hustle I had. So we did that.
how'd you get the cards though? Maybe it was
Toys R Us. So
Oh,
you buy the packs, and if you get lucky with a holographic, then you make money.
okay.
Or you go to card shops. Back then, there was a lot more card shops where they sell basketball cards, baseball cards, Pokemon cards, even the Pogs. There was a lot of those. So I started with that, and then in the apartment complex where I lived, there was a bunch of kids. So everyone had Pokemon cards, marbles, So we had the whole childhood.
Remate right
Yeah, it was good.
there. The hustle.
Yeah,
Crew.
so we all got together. There was kids from different age groups. At the time, I was what, man, maybe 8, 9 years old, 10. The oldest kid was probably like 14. So we used to gather up together, and during our vacation time, we used to walk over. I grew up in the city of Bell Gardens, nearby the Sam's Club that's right there by El Paseo and Southgate. So it was walking distance, literally like maybe 5-minute walk from El Paseo. So we used to walk over to Sam's Club, and we used to just stand in the front, right, and wait for people to walk out with their carts, and just help them with their groceries. So just if we see like a roach coach, and they usually have the big carts, we'll be like, "Whoa, that's a jackpot!" So we'll follow them, and we'll help them put their groceries from the cart to their actual trunks or whatever, and we'll get tips, $1, $2, sometimes nothing. but it was a way just to get a few bucks, you know. And I remember always our first $2, we'll go to Burger King. There was a Burger King there, and we'll get a Whopper with cheese. You know, that was our rewarding
Payday.
Yeah, to start the day. So that was like my childhood, I guess, early hustle. And we're kids, man. We're, like I said, 8, 9, 10-year old. And now you think about it, it's like, fuck, would I leave my kids, you know, out of the house for that long, you know, to go hustle? And, you know, times change. So it's, you know, I'm actually thankful for that. Thankful for, you know, my parents allowed me that time to, like, orale, you know, go out and go kind of venture the world, you know. So that was my initial working days. Yeah. And then I worked at a warehouse with my mom illegally. I was 15 years old, palletizing boxes and loading trailers and all that during my vacation time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I always liked working since I was a kid.
Before we move on to the running your company, after all that hustle experience, do you remember how much you made as a kid in that warehouse?
Yeah, I think I remember the hourly wage back then was $6.75. So they paid me $6.75 until they found out I was 15, because the guy didn't know. You know, I was just a bigger dude, you know, a bigger kid. I guess matured 15-year-old. And yeah, I worked there for a month.
A month.
Yeah. A month. So
it
was good.
Lasted.
It was good, yeah. It was good having lunch with my mom, you know, every day and stuff. Packing lunch, going home. Yeah, it was cool.
Good bonding experience, no? And you got to see what she went through going to work.
Yeah, exactly.
Get a little taste of
it.
Yeah. So as far as the company goes, was running a drayage company harder than you thought once you got into it?
Oh, yes. Yeah, at first, you don't think about, unless you have the background, you know, of already working with, on the business end, with the, you know, handling the business end of a drayage company, then you have no idea what's going on. You know, all the bills that you're gonna receive per diem, chassis bills, storage, payroll, just having enough cash flow to cover that, you know, for the next couple months. So yeah, I didn't have that in place. It was just, you know, let's get accounts, let's get drivers, let's get it going, you know, let's get paid.
The basics then: driver, accounts, get paid.
Mm-hmm.
But all those other companies, you missed that part for some reason?
Yeah, because I was only a dispatcher. I didn't get to
the whole view
to handle or even see like the back end. It was just like, hey, handle this dispatch, you know, make sure we get these out, or else, you know.
And you thought if you get those other 3 elements and then you just do the dispatch, then you already got it, the whole package.
Yeah,
right?
But I was totally wrong.
So then that answers this question. Did you know the business, or you learned on the go?
I learned on the go the hard way.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes losing accounts by not, you know, giving them proper updates, missing last 3 days, having no reason to miss last 3 days.
Accounts, okay. You mentioned accounts. So how do you get an account? You're fresh. You got the company. You got the trucks. How does that look like, you hunting for an account? And what does that come with?
Sometimes hiring people, either hiring a dispatcher or hiring, you know, a friend or that might have already contacts. That's one way to start. And usually a company starts by having some type of account. They don't buy a truck and say, hey, let's start. They usually start by either getting their hands on some type of account, or somebody promising that they're going to give them, you know, this amount of this whatever volume. That's one way. Another way is to start, you know, not the old way, you know, cold calling, knocking on doors, sending emails, getting on dispatch load boards. You know, your old contacts, the old brokers that you worked with in the past, kind of deal, and say, hey, I started my own company. If you ever need any services, here I am.
How'd you get your first one?
I got my first one. It was actually we got an email request.
Oh, those
Yeah,
ones that
those
everyone
random.
gets.
Yeah, one of those random
The
email
one asking for
requests.
your best rate.
The one of those. And the description of that volume load kind of matched to something that I currently worked in the past, right? Like recently, it was kind of like a couple months ago, and I said, let me call this guy. So I called him, and it ended up being the exact same account that they had just recently got, right? So we met up and kind of give them some insights on how the company works, all that. So we ended up getting enough volume to cover our trucks, and then extra to have it, for owner operators and to kind of distribute.
Okay.
So we had it running for a few months. It was actually good, until they stopped paying.
Oh,
So
what's that red flag?
well, I mean, they missed 1 week, they missed the following week, and it just stacked up.
And meanwhile, you kept rolling.
We kept rolling, yeah, because we thought we had a relationship. It was so good in the first couple months, and then it just started like going downhill, ignoring calls, ignoring emails. We actually went to their office a few times to look for them. They were there, but they weren't there, kind of deal.
Like Jehovah Witness.
So yeah, we kind of learned. It was like, man, we like, you kind of just scratch your head and kind of just wait, because you want to get paid.
There was an official statement though, like, "Hey, we're working on it," or nothing, or just.
Towards the end, yeah, of course, but there was a lot of hiding, and I get it. Like, either they don't have the money or they don't have
Just say that.
just the I don't know, like, but it's just easy to run away from the problems, I guess, until it hits kind of like rock bottom. But yeah, they ended up paying. It took them a while,
It
but
sounded like they weren't.
no, yeah, they ended up paying. It took them a while, and we later found out that they did that to like a lot of companies. So I guess it was a money issue. Yeah.
Also,
But
they
they don't.
kind of get like this little cue, like, oh, we got to pay these guys because they're up on the line, the
Yes.
people we owe. Then they got some money, the guys after you, and
Exactly.
so on.
Exactly.
And it probably got to the point where they couldn't maintain that circle anymore, and then they just like.
They ran out of money.
I'm not gonna end your story, but go ahead.
Yeah, it came down to running out of money. They had trucks of their own, and they wanted to sell those trucks like ASAP. So, those were clues like, hey, man, they're kind of hurting, So that was our first account,
But you cut ties with them eventually, or?
Yeah, we like I said, they paid the company, and we just stopped receiving work, and that was it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they changed their name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm pretty
You think
sure
they left a lot of people hanging, probably?
maybe,
at
bro.
some point, yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, that's why a lot of companies, change their name, and
That's crazy though, huh? It's pretty much legal, right? If it's bankruptcy,
yeah.
Yeah? That's the risk
But
you guys take.
but Wolf, I mean, I don't know, since they didn't owe us money, we didn't get a bankruptcy letter.
Yeah.
But yeah, if there were been open invoices, I'm sure we would have gotten a letter. We've received letters in the past from other forwarders that we had open invoices with. They ended up going bankrupt, so we received those letters, and luckily it wasn't a big amount, but still, it was.
What does that letter do for you?
Nothing. It's just letting you know that
officially letting you know that you're
we're not
fucked.
gonna pay you.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's
Damn.
it's devastating. Yeah, it's Drayage is a roller coaster, man. Owning a Drayage company, especially if you don't have the people in place, people you trust, people with the experience, and the knowledge, and they're willing to put it out there, like they're like it's their company.
Yeah. Well, what do you do for them that makes them feel it's their company? Right? That depends too.
Yeah. Well,
there's all kinds of different types of bosses,
Of course. And it's not only coming through with having a paycheck.
Yeah.
Because that's part of the job. You perform, you get paid at the end of the week.
Yeah.
Incentives, vacation time, whatever.
Hopefully not a severance.
Not a severance, no. There's many ways, but yeah, it's
So given that amount of stress and fluctuating peaks and all this. How did it? How did that business venture affect your personal life? Did it?
Yes, very.
Do you mind going over that
Yeah.
period of time?
Yeah, of course. When the company started, my wife was my son was just born, so we had a newborn. So life was changing for us. It was like, whoa, we have a son. Everything was different. And I jumped into this venture like right away. So it did affect me because I kind of missed out like the first couple years of my son Julian's life. I was away, working in the office, in the yard, getting paperwork, waiting for drivers, doing payroll. The weekend, getting ready for Monday. So it did affect me, and just bringing the stress home, I was good at kind of like leaving it at work and dealing with it until Monday kind of deal. But it just got to a point where it just came with you wherever you went, But
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It got worse when towards the end, when people owe you money and you have a kind of partnership with a family member, you're trying to like explain everything that's going on, and that it's just very difficult to manage everything, and then it was growing pains for sure. I had no business, I had no background in the business. I was learning as I went,
What's an incident you remember that it's like, fuck, I did that, or I said that when I was angry, or anything maybe mean or something?
I guess, yeah, when sometimes your ego gets in between, you forget that you're running a company, and you get a call like from an angry owner that wants to get paid for a load they did yesterday, and you want to tell them nicely, like, hey, bro, like, you haven't even turned in your paperwork. Like, come on, bro, So you kind of like...
Is that shots fired, bro?
Right?
I've been there, done that. But go on.
No, but yeah, and you kind of, you're like, bro,
we don't know that side. We don't see that side. We're just like, the load's there.
Yeah, the load's there. Pay me my shit.
Yeah. But there's obviously a lot of pieces to it.
Yeah, I mean, you have to collect paperwork. You have to make sure, the paperwork is signed, and so you kind of want to tell them off, like, motherfucker, can't you understand? So yeah, there was many of those.
I don't even get paid this fast, motherfucker.
Right, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, sometimes you have to wait 30, 40, 60 days to get paid, for a load that your driver wants to get paid the next day. Mm-hmm. So,
and that's the thing, how you do it once, then they're going to want it all
exactly,
the time.
Yeah. And then, you start treating these people better than your family, you want to pamper them, you want to make sure they're doing okay, just so they're always there coming back to you. And it just becomes a nasty lifestyle, You kind of put your or at least in my situation, trying to piece up a nice company and making sure everything felt, perfect.
I think we've all done that, though, where at some point we are kinder to strangers than our loved ones.
Yes.
Oh,
very. And right, and there's perfect industry for that.
Right?
Just to have enough drivers to cover your loads on Monday, you're willing to pay them in advance,
Oh, sure, of course, no problem at all. Kind regards.
Yeah.
But if it's someone, fuck off. The fuck you want?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I'm at work.
Or your wife, hey, bring a gallon of milk. Like, fuck, chingao.
You can't go.
Exactly, yeah, bro.
Te queda de camino.
So it's those little small things,
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that until like afterwards. You're like, wow, like, son como tus viejas. A veces you treat them better than your actual wife.
Mm-hmm.
You're calling them, hey, how you doing? Are you gonna make it to work? Mm-hmm. You want lunch? I got you. I'm on my way to the yard. And it's like, you kind of los malas acostumbras.
And so the minute that something changes and then you pull back a little bit, it's like, oh, you're the worst boss.
Exactly.
You changed, bro.
Yep.
All right. Let's go over a day in the life of the company owner back then. Was it all hustle, or a veces te hacías pendejo ahí en la oficina? Is it really always the hustle is on, or?
No, of course, man. Well, Yeah, I mean, since the minute you get up, I mean, you have drivers that are delivering. So obviously, if you're running the whole show, you have to check on your drivers. So first thing, call your drivers, or actually check your phone to make sure there's no shit going on. Like there's no flat tires, there's no missed deliveries, or hey, I didn't make it to work. So first things first, check your phone.
Yeah.
Everything's good, then shower up, get breakfast, get going. Back then, I used to live in Long Beach, so it was a cool little 5-minute drive to the yard. Drive to the yard, make sure everything's okay there, the containers are there. If there's anything going on that we need to go pay something or whatever, go pay it. Then go back to the office and get with the dispatch. And that takes pretty much the whole day. I mean,
back and forth or what?
The dispatch is, I mean, it's a whole. You gotta take care of dispatch pretty much during business hours. And back then we didn't have any night drivers, you can say. Mm-hmm. So it was mainly during the day. So we took care of our guys. I mean, you can say 6, 7 a.m. all the way till 5, 6 p.m.
Yeah.
And then during the evenings, just get ready for the next day.
How did you pay them? Would you have to go to them, or they all came to your office, or
usually we
what's up?
Usually we met them at the yard.
Oh, okay, certain days.
Yeah, our first couple of drivers didn't have Zelle, so it was a handwritten check.
Yeah.
So go to the yard, and obviously you'll pay them from the work they did the previous week. So you should already have the paperwork from the previous week. And then you give them your, the check with a copy of the manifest of what they did. Yeah.
Yeah. Bam.
So easy. And of course it got easier with Zelle and, all that. And back then we didn't have a specific, software, a dispatch software until maybe like 6 months in, we got one. But then again, it was hard to train It was hard to get drivers to use it. So we didn't use it to the full potential.
What did you have?
Trinium.
Trinium? How long did you have it?
We had Trinium for, maybe 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
So you learned it pretty good eventually, or how did?
We learned it. I mean, enough to where we dispatch and the back end stuff, the financial stuff. But we never got to having the drivers and owner ops use it like to the full potential. And that would have saved us a lot of time, collecting paperwork, driving back and forth.
Why didn't they use it? Why didn't they like it, or what was missing in your opinion?
They felt it was just extra work. And again, we didn't really push it. It was like, okay, just bring the paperwork, we'll handle it. So we got them used to that. We used mainly owner operators. So they were used to the whole, hey, I'm turning in my paperwork Saturday morning. Where do I drop it off kind of deal. So it was that old school, I guess, cycle rotation. Yeah. Turning paperwork, you get paid the next week. But yeah, now I'm sure nowadays is easier, with dispatch softwares and the driver. And I used to tell them, if you know how to upload a picture in Facebook, you should be able to use these apps to upload documents and your times and all that. But yeah, it was like a cosa del otro mundo. They didn't want to comply with it, and us just to be okay with it. It was like, all right, no worries. Well, we got you.
Yeah, because that they have the power to just, like, the drivers, right? If they're not with it, it's hard. And
yeah, they'll just go with the next company that doesn't have those requirements. Yeah, so it's a lot of fear that you have.
It's got to be like, what's in it for them? There's got to be some kind of benefit for them as well, not just the company only.
Yep.
Like, include everyone.
But again, it's
like, what makes me want to put something in this?
Yeah. But they don't understand that it's a benefit for them as well. The faster they turn in their paperwork, the faster they get paid, and there's no setbacks or holdbacks when it's
flowing.
Yeah, everything flows perfect.
So, well, you obviously don't have that company anymore. So, in your opinion, like, what Why didn't it work?
Many things, man. Just having the I guess the business background, managing a business was very hard. Like I said, I always wanted to dispatch, make sure everything was good, make sure we were getting paid. But controlling the business was just a whole different monster. Controlling the people, controlling yourself, and then reporting. I had to report to my cousin, so it was hard to do everything at once, not having the experience. I was learning. I was learning as
But this is very risky learning.
Very risky, and it's not healthy. It wasn't healthy. It wasn't very healthy. So it was a very learning experience. I guess not thinking about it before actually taking a big role.
Mm-hmm.
I just said, fuck it, let's go. We had that vision. We were pumped. And let's go. But again,
Yeah, that's the start. Yeah, at the starting point.
Yeah.
It's like the fun part is coming up with the name, and then like, oh, I own a company now, and then
Exactly.
you think it's truck dispatch.
Yeah, and then trucking is just
account.
it's a dirty business. It's not
Right.
it's not clean cut where
Yeah.
where you perform a business service and you get paid the next day, or there's always bullshit in between. You have to wait, and drivers. You have to pay your employees. You have a dispatcher, you have customer service rep, you have your insurance that doesn't wait. You have yard. Oh my god, just
And their pay periods are not 60 days.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to have a big how can I say it? I guess starting operating capital to have some patience.
Like cushion.
Yeah, because you run out of patience, it's over, man. You miss, lose sleep. You start getting stressed out, and
Your kid wants to play. Hágase la verga.
hágase pa' allá, güey. Yeah.
No, I'm just assuming. Sorry.
Come on, it happens.
Forgive me.
You
But so it was going good until it wasn't. So let's pick up the story at the point where it wasn't. What were those details on the way of the end? The beginning of the end. What went wrong?
collecting money.
Yeah.
Yeah, collecting what was owed to us. There was a lot of miscommunication between dispatch and the actual customer when empties weren't coming back to the yard. So they weren't getting notified sometimes. And we later found out through emails I wasn't dispatching. There was, we had hired a new dispatcher. There was an old dispatcher that was there. So it wasn't, the communication wasn't there. Notifying your customer, hey, we couldn't return this empty due to a no appointment problem or anything. So the containers were just coming back to the yard. We were stacking up storage fees, and the customer didn't want to pay those fees.
There was no agreement before? Like, if this happens, you owe it? Or
Yeah,
not?
the only agreement is the disclaimer you put on your email signature, which
Do they honor those? Or not all the time?
Not all the time, man.
Oh.
Like you must have, and I learned after that, and this is for everyone, when you're signing up like a new contract or a new volume, something new work, have always like something in writing where it's gonna back you up for either per diem demurrage, extra chassis days, any waiting time, or your accessorials, have them in black and white, and don't start anything until you have confirmation,
The signature.
and and
You
we
did
didn't
a
have
couple-
that.
You did a couple without? That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, no, it was just like, oh my god, we got DOs coming in. Fuck yeah, and it was yeah.
We take it over, homie.
Yeah, we're the next fucking.
We got an account.
Yeah.
Damn.
And it's exciting, bro. In the beginning, you start getting all these emails and PDFs, and you're like, whoa, your eyeballs turn into dollar signs, but then it's like, come on, you have to put in the work. It doesn't.
What about the ego? Did it give you a little boost, or how'd you feel?
Oh yeah, I mean, come on, man.
Does it fuck with you?
Yeah, you start you start having these ego trips, especially, if you drink, whenever you get an upper, you start, you feel like you're the man, yeah, I'm moving containers and da da da. Yeah, not good.
And then shit happens.
Yeah, not good. I at the time I was drinking, I started drinking a lot. So, which it kind of helped because it put me in the mood to work. So when I would drink a beer or whatever, I was always, all right, let's fucking work. Get my laptop, have everything in order. But then it kind of got like addicting. You always wanted to work and drink. You have your office. It's your own place. Da da da.
Start going to the office to drink, and they think you're at work.
Yeah, you go. No, not go to the office to drink, but go work, right? And then right before work, get a little 3-pack going. Then go to the office and enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend, whatever. And it just wasn't healthy. It wasn't healthy. So
the bills added up, and you had the.
Yeah. So going towards the end. We had storage bills. So back then we used to have we didn't have a yard. We had a yard for a period of time. Then the owners took over. So we had to get one of those, I believe is, what's the website? Secure Space.
Yeah, they like pop up and.
Yeah, so basically you find a yard, you book it. It's kind of using Expedia.
Okay.
Or to book a room, you book it for the amount of days you want to use it. You enter your credit card info and they give you a confirmation number. You go in, So we use that for most of our empties. And obviously you're paying up front. You have your credit card info, so you're getting raped every night.
Oh shit!
So
whether you show up or not.
Your container's there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you have all these empties in the yard, and every day after midnight, you're getting a debit transaction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We don't waste no time.
Oh no. So
pay as you go, literally.
Yes.
Okay.
So we had all these empties in the yard, and we're getting charged for them, right? So we're thinking like, fuck, like it's okay. We're gonna collect. Once we return these empties, we're gonna get our money back. But customer refused.
Oh.
They were refusing. They were refusing to pay the storage fees, the chassis fees, the per diem fees. So
and
it's like
nothing was in writing.
Crazy.
Nothing was in writing.
Nothing was in writing. It was just and it was a big customer, big name. They have a pretty good reputation. But
business is business. You didn't write it down. You didn't sign nothing.
So that was a big fucking red flag.
You're bad.
Yeah.
Is it?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, because I was the head. Nobody came up with the plan of coming up with some sort of contract. So we just, So yeah, that was a big one. So having some sort of contract before you start working is a must. It's always recommended.
Okay.
Even though they're your friends or whoever the hell they are, it's have something in writing. And most of the newer companies do. They have some sort of like a DocuSign work order where they send you the rate. They call it rate con.
Yeah.
They send you the rate con, and once you sign it, then you're agreeing to that rate, to the terms and conditions. So they're basically providing it for you. Yeah, but this was, it was a big learning curve for me.
So what are the steps? Once you shut it down, what do you do first? When do you know it's time to throw in the towel? For sure.
When no money's coming in, you see no money's coming in, you have no work, lined up. You have all these bills that are lined up, and you're like, fuck, man, we're gonna drown. And yeah, it was stressful, because like I said, it was me and my cousin, and it kind of shook things off a little, and it was my family. I don't want to be like quedar mal con la familia. So it was like it was just hard. It was hard, man. Trying to explain to everyone, to myself, like, fuck, how do I do this? How do I manage this? But yeah, it was a big wake up call too, because I thought I could do it. I thought, yeah, fuck yeah, but I had no fucking clue.
Not as easy as you thought.
Not at all.
So, I'm. You might have answered this, but I'll let you add something to it if it's a different answer. So what would you do different if you can go back to the startup days of that company?
What would I do different? Maybe find some type of mentor that's already in the industry, right? And kind of I don't know.
Honestly, do you feel in this industry there's really mentors for that?
Not friendly mentors, but maybe friends that they've been running companies for 10 years or whatever. Kind of, some people might give you their tips and clues on how to do things different. Some don't. Some are really like, I'm not going to give you the secret.
Yeah, they're training their competitor. What do you think?
Well,
to a degree.
I mean,
I guess,
yeah. Nah, but it's a big big industry, man. There's enough for everyone. So, yeah, it's and it's trust me. Even when I started, like, it's easy, and again, you have to respect. People's drivers. Don't try to hustle drivers just because they're parking in the same yard. Kind of, hey, Kyle pa acá, I'll pay you more. Kind of that thing. Yeah. A lot of that went on. So you were worried about losing your drivers. For $10 a load that they're paying.
Difference,
yeah. So loyalty is big it's a big factor. It's hard to find loyal people. Yeah, very hard.
Yeah, yeah, in this market, yeah, it's very hard because they're sort of just following the money. So it's got to be a very solid relationship to give that up in as an act of faith that you'll come around and
Yep.
But well, that was a learning experience, and here you are. You're still standing. So
yes, sir.
Now we can move on to, if there's anything else you want to add about that company experience, do so now.
Just a few tips for everyone starting or that's about to start a Drayage venture. Just make sure you have everything in place. Make sure you know what you're dealing with. Have your insurance. Make sure you know who you're hiring, your drivers. Do a background check. Make sure you have operating capital enough to cover 3 months if anything goes wrong. And just have the right people in place. Don't try to do it all by yourself, because that's when shit hits the fan, and it's just hard. You start getting stressful, and nothing goes right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Well, you've been on a journey lately, and I like to call it a spiritual journey, healing with natural medicines, and let's change the subject a bit and go into that. So, what made you pursue spiritual healing through the medicines like Bufo, Campbell, Yahe, aka ayahuasca? Why that? What made you inclined?
I guess for a period of time, I wasn't living, I guess, happy. I was always worried about things, not. I was always blaming myself for things, not being true to myself. I try to blame, drinking. I try to blame my past life, my parents' divorce. I stopped drinking for a while to kind of test myself to see if this is gonna work. Nothing was working. Nothing was working. I came across this video back in, it was actually about a year ago, so 2022. Um, one of the guys that we knew, restaurant owner, he committed suicide.
Oh.
And a few days later, one of his family members came out and did a post about, his incident, and he mentioned that they had recently gone to Tulum to do a 5-MeO DMT ritual or a retreat.
The guy that did committed suicide had experienced that.
Yes, a few months before committing suicide. So that was like, wait a minute, what?
That don't make sense, right? Like, I don't think you would do that after that.
Right.
Okay.
So that actually, I was sad at the fact that, bro, he committed suicide. We met this guy. He was an icon, a Latino doing a barbecue business. And it shocked me, So for a few days, I was like, wow. So I Googled it. Like, what the hell is 5-MeO DMT, And I went on videos, and the first person that came out was Fernando. Shout out
Fernando Barba.
Fernando Barba. First video was Fernando. Yeah. Abrazos y ya sabes, mucho amor para Fernando. He had like the most views in the DMT videos. So it was the top one. So I clicked on his video. The first video that I seen was like, wow, seeing a transformation right there in front of your eyes. So I went on, I saw pretty much this whole playlist, and I was excited, man. I told my wife, hey, I think I found something for me, and I was like, whoa. So it took me, I found out in about late February. It took me about 6 months to kind of research, kind of get a feel of what I was getting myself into. And I booked a ceremony for September. So, and I kind of knew that was gonna be my turning point, right? But I just didn't know how. I didn't know how I was gonna feel. I didn't know how the fuck I was gonna do it. What it was. No, I had no clue. But I was really focused and really waiting for that day. But in between, I was still messing around, drinking. Not, I was still being a travieso, pretty much. Yeah. So,
Well, you have
even towards a week before,
yeah,
like I still, like I was like, it's okay, like it's next week kind of deal, like I'll be good.
Pushing it.
Yeah, I was pushing it.
That's too close, no? Okay.
And at the time, a week before we had traveled to Mexico, my grandfather passed away, and I said to myself, even though I had already promised myself a couple weeks before that I wasn't gonna drink, right? I still went and drank because that was gonna be my last one, But I'm like, fuck, like here I am again, like drinking again,
Not keeping your word with yourself.
Exactly. So again, it goes down to putting myself down, blaming myself. So it really hit me that week, kind of like, wow, what am I doing, like where am I going with this? There wasn't any more fun drinking. I was just drinking to drink. You could have been a whole crowd of guys, having a blast, and I was just there sipping and just like, the fuck am I doing here? It got to that point. So I wasn't enjoying it. It was just a habit, and I knew inside where I got to get rid of this shit because I'm not liking it. It's not good. I got 2 boys that I'm raising, I got a wife. I can't be fucking doing this shit every weekend, So I booked my ceremony, and we did bufo and combo. So combo is a secretion that we get from a Amazonian frog, and they apply it in your skin. So they do burns in your skin. They apply it in your skin, and within 0 to 5 minutes, you start having this purging effect where you start releasing all your toxins in your body. You start throwing up, and you get it like a spiritual, physical cleanse. And And right after combo, I felt like a brand new person. I felt like all the emotions I had stuck inside of me, they just like they were just gone. Like somebody just turned on the switch and say, "All right, it's over." Like darkness turns into light, like right now, you know.
Mm-hmm. And that's the combo. That's the one that is like
the combo is what I felt.
A lot of discomfort in that one.
Oh yeah,
most.
Yeah, because you start swelling up, you start having that fever effect, you start like you get the rush in your head, and you're like, "Fuck, what's going on?" And I'm gonna die. I'm gonna.
Yeah. You feel like shit, pretty much.
You feel like shit, and then you start throwing up. You start throwing up. You start sweating. You start. Some people, poop on themselves. Some people cry. Some people start laughing. There's just different effects, on different people. So, right after combo, I felt like, wow, like this thing is true, like it works, Like I couldn't wait to tell my parents, like fuck, I found the cure, So I told my wife, like, I'm ready to go home, like, and we still had to do bufo.
Oh, that's what I was gonna ask you. Did you do it the same day?
Yeah, it was the same day.
Okay.
It was the same day. So yeah, combo was good, man. I felt light. I felt like I was like floating for a little bit, right? That was a big, like, man, it's so lovely. Even though it's a big discomfort while you're going through it, it's just the results they're amazing. My life just turned after that ceremony. Everything just bufo. Now let's get into bufo. Bufo is it's another secretion from a desert frog that contains a 5-MeO DMT. So that's what got me into researching this whole the whole medicine. So you smoke that. You actually smoke it, and it's considered the strongest psychedelic in the world.
Let me interrupt you. By secretion, I think that means poop. Or am I wrong?
Secretion.
Or just something you squeeze out.
You squeeze out, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Haz de cuenta una pus que te...
So it's two different type of frog or toads.
Two different, yeah. So one's a rainforest.
Okay.
Toad.
Yeah.
Or frog, and the other one's a desert frog, desert toad.
All along I thought the Campbell was poop of the toad.
Oh no. Wait, combo?
Yeah.
No, it's not poop.
So it's both from the glands of that toad.
Exactly. So they stress them out.
Toads. Yeah.
You can go on YouTube. There's videos how they show. So I've seen the combo. They kind of stretch their arms and legs, and that kind of stresses them out. So they release that toxin. It's a poison.
Yeah.
And then the shamans, they collect it.
Yeah, on glass or something.
I believe, and then distribute it to the whole world to share the medicine.
Wow, I learned something, even though I've done it twice.
Yeah, and it's like I said, man, it's the biggest stress reliever. I've heard people say it's like 30 years of counseling in one day. Then comes bufo. We all prepare for the ceremony. I think there's like 25 people doing both medicines, and it's our first time, so you're like, shit, man, what's gonna happen? Am I gonna be floating? You don't know. You don't know what to expect. You know. So, all I knew is that I wanted to just get rid of all the bad stuff that I had in me. The negativity, all those feelings, all the bad habits. So that was my intention. Get rid of all the stuff I don't need. And like I said, right after combo, I felt that sense of happiness, just to live. And I told my wife, wow, I haven't felt this happy in at least 10 years, 10, 15 years, So bufo was another strong one. You smoke it and boom, lights out. You go into a different dimension for quite some time. It goes different with many people. For me, it was peaceful. It was kind of like icing on the cake, right? For after doing combo,
yeah,
it brought me that peace and tranquility I needed, and inside of me, and I was able to function, just think clear, give me this clarity, mental clarity, on how to live my life, how to, a different perspective towards life and towards everything, bro. Everything just, and till this day, you still can't believe it. You're like, what the hell? How, medicine this powerful can transform you. So that was my first one. And then it was September. We did another one in November. And we went to Vegas, did another one. And that's when we found out about the Yahe retreat that was gonna happen in January.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, wow. And I seen the ad, and I seen Taita Kerubin in the picture, and I had seen this guy before. I'm like, oh, I don't know who he was until I found out about the ayahuasca trip. So I started doing research. I found out this guy's 109 years old. He's one of the oldest, or the oldest shamans, in the tribe. So I'm like, wow, this is he's kind of like the Pope of the ayahuasca,
Yeah.
So I said, this is opportunity of a lifetime. He's 109. It might be the last opportunity to see him, or so. I took I registered for it, and we got all excited for it. I was pumped,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, January came along. We hopped on the plane. Again, we didn't know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
We were there like, fuck, man.
I wasn't sure if I was going. I was like, if it's meant for me, let it lighten up, and it worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so. It was amazing. Just knowing that you're gonna be like in the motherland, where this medicine is grown. You're gonna be with there's the spirit, the spirit of the jungle. It just made it more magical. You're like, fuck yeah, we're gonna be there.
At this point, you're already off the booze, huh?
Yeah.
Right.
I stopped. Yeah. Again, sorry. I stopped drinking right after Bufo. So that right after September, that was my last peda in Mexico.
September 2022.
So,
right.
August was my last time drinking.
Okay.
August of 2022.
And you still haven't.
I don't crave it. It doesn't even cross my head, to drink a beer, to even I'm thankful for that, because that's what I needed help with.
Yeah.
There was times where I didn't drink for a couple of years, but it was still in the back of my head, that first beer I have is gonna be the best beer.
Yeah. You still look forward to it. You still feel like you're just undergoing punishment deep down. You.
So this time, no. This is I'm not looking forward for a beer. I see beer and it's so it kind of helped me to kind of delete that from my hard drive completely.
Beautiful.
And coffee too. I haven't drank coffee since.
Oh.
And I was a heavy, maybe 5-6 cups of coffee a day.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. That wasn't my intention either. So I guess the medicine kind of said, you don't need that either. A la chingada, way. Yeah. So, and many other things. Many other things. I just found love and everything that I do. The smallest things it's just great, man. And then right after that ceremony, sorry, I skipped one. I did Shanga.
Oh yeah,
Shanga with our brothers Yogesh and Atlantis, the White Collective. Yeah, we did Shanga, which was to me it was very powerful, very colorful, and that's what gave me kind of the visions of business, of money, of luck, of just like prosperity. And I was actually able to feel it's crazy. I was able to feel the vibrations that were going on in the room. I was feeling the blessings. I was able to touch them and kind of caress them and mold them my way. That was good. And then I did. Then we jumped into ayahuasca. Ayahuasca was just another level, man.
Yeah. Do you feel? Oh, I'm sorry. Anything you want to add about that?
No, that's it.
So That kind of puts it into perspective, right? You've been through it. Various plants, various experiences, various remedies or forms of
Yes.
healing, right? When nothing else works, right?
Yes.
And so it's safe to ask, what was the old Adrian like, and what's he like now? Like,
Oh man, the
how,
old Adrian.
how big is that
The old
difference?
Adrian. Oh, he just worried about himself. Like it was just worrying about myself. Where if I was happy, if I had my thing to do, having a family. Um, and again, I always look for the entertainment before the actual responsibilities. Again, because I was drinking a lot. It was always like, hey, I'm a pistear, and then it becomes a Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing, and you begin your week all crudo, and it takes 2 to 3 days to get back on the board, and man, that changed. So the new Adrian, I mean, it definitely not drinking. I have the energy. I have the energy to work. I have the energy to be with my family, my kids. I have all these ideas, that I want to pursue. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. The new Adrian is definitely a beautiful Adrian.
Do you feel it's hard to balance your material desires versus the spiritual ones? Like now with this newfound light within?
Um, Not really, because like at least for me, I kind of stopped paying attention too much to the material stuff. It's more of a like the feelings. You want to feel the love from your family. You want to give the love. You want to, just have that kind of warmth. Always at home. So I think that kind of took away, the feeling of having a material fortune. When you
Yeah.
can have a fortune at home with your family.
Yeah. The feeling that you're missing out on a fortune, right? You don't feel the lack of, if you make it, you make it, but even if you don't, you already did.
Yeah.
Right? The blessings you have.
Exactly.
Now.
Like you're
Okay.
happy, you're sharing that happiness with your family. They can feel it. And the whole house kind of changes. It changes the mood.
Yeah.
And obviously everyone gets on your same page. You're happy, your wife's happy, the kids are happy. You're out there doing things, and it's beautiful, man, for sure.
You think it could be a conflict when you want to be like super good and like selfless and, you know, the spiritual journey? Like, do you think it ever comes a point when you kind of just want to give it all up, and it's extreme, right? But like go live in the jungle and just give up, all the comforts of the Western world and just like, oh, I found it. Fuck money. Fuck this. Fuck
Yeah,
that. Or do you still want to make it, but you'll still be spiritual? I don't know if that question makes sense.
No, yeah, it makes sense. And I've asked myself that question too. Like
What
happens?
You gotta pick one.
Yeah, I actually asked myself that question before doing the medicine the first time. Like, what if you come back with like, fuck, I don't need to work anymore. I don't need I don't need a phone. I don't need TV anymore. But no, I mean, it's part of your life. You're used to this life. You just have to adapt to it, and just learn from the tools. The things you learn from this medicine. Adapt them into the real life and just make your life better.
Yeah, because we know all we really need are the elements, gratitude and love, right?
Yes.
But how do you align your previous desires of success and riches with the new person you claim to be now?
It's hard, man. It's because it always gets in between. Like you're driving, you're thinking, you're driving down the street. You're thinking positive, good boy stuff, and then that old thought of, fuck yeah, I'm gonna make it. Fuck all this shit, or the whole ego of becoming a big boy comes in your head, and you're like, wait a minute, I don't know. So yeah, it's your brain kind of fucks with you, and you have to kind of push it away and fight with it for a few minutes, whatever, how long it takes.
Right? Because why can't you be blessed and then bless others? Like, if you make it big, like just take care of
Right.
everyone else too. Like don't forget.
No, you
right?
could just be, I guess, have a different attitude towards it. Don't be like the whole cabron, I made it.
I manifested this.
Yeah. Like you could do it. There's safer ways to do it. Like that's one of my biggest goals, to give back. Whatever I make, always give back to the indigenous communities that have helped.
Fuck yeah, bro.
That have helped us, go through the healing, through this medicine.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful.
So you think, for the record, you think we can have both the riches and spirituality and be in that abundance mindset?
Yeah, why not? I mean, there's always, I guess, boundaries, right? Don't. Yeah, if you're that flossy type of guy that likes to show off shit, then that's your lifestyle, But don't forget where you came from, and don't forget why you're here,
Mm-hmm.
So it's yeah, it's I guess you can have both, just having moderation, I guess.
Because you're still a businessman at heart, and that takes us to the next topic, our final topic. But before we move over to that, do you have anything you want to add to the spiritual side of things?
Definitely a life changer. I want to continue to experience the different medicines that are out there. So I've definitely not done experiencing
Peyote?
peyote, yeah, San Pedro.
Yopo?
We have yopo, and we have rapé with yopo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's many lovely medicines out there.
All right, so anyone that just stumbled into this part of the podcast, then I don't know what other sign you need, but it's definitely helped him, and I too feel it has helped me, especially the ayahuasca trip. Ever since then, what he felt, no more cravings after bufo, I felt that after ayahuasca. So we're all built different. Some of us it's going to take more. Some of us it's going to take less. Some of us don't even have to get to that point. But one thing for sure, like, never stop trying to figure it out. Just keep that desire alive. If you want to make improvements, you're already blessed to have that thought creep in your mind of a desire for change. And that's proof you still love yourself, because you want to change something. And God bless that decision, man. So wherever you are out there going through it, it gets better, man. Hang in there.
Hang in there.
Don't give up.
Yeah, and it's work, bro. Even though you go through your first, medicine, you think you made it. I seen Pachamama. No, you have to put in the work. After it begins, like Fernando tells us, begins right after. Right after you leave this place, that's when the medicine begins
That's when the ceremony starts.
That's when the ceremony starts.
Because it's easy to love people that are nice to you. It's easy to be all lovey-dovey with other people that are lovey-dovey, because they're all experiencing that.
Exactly.
But try loving back someone that hurts you. Try loving back someone that did you dirty. It doesn't love you back.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Then that's where the real test is, So.
Yeah, and then. Like I said, it comes, like, it creeps up on you. The medicine creeps up on you. You get little reminders here and there. It's just so amazing. And it's helped other people with many other things, other addictions. Overcoming traumas, family deaths, phobias, depression, all that. So it's very beneficial. Then ayahuasca is just we had 4 nights of ayahuasca, or yahe. We're blessed to be there. We met a lot of people from the States, from Mexico, from Colombia. Just the people there, the Cofanes, the tribe there, amazing. I felt like I was at home. I actually felt better there than when we go to Mexico, we felt very welcome to be there, very safe to be there. Even though you're in the middle of nowhere, you felt like, man, we're in good hands.
The mosquitoes were like, nah, fuck you guys.
Oh man,
but
the mosquitoes, the ticks, they all ganged up on us.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was fun. Sleeping in hammocks. Just hearing everybody's funny stories. Everybody's we sang, we cried together, we fucking laughed together, we screamed together.
We even got annoyed by each other.
We got annoyed
sometimes.
a few days. You're like, man, fuck this fool. But it was great, man. It's definitely the experience of a lifetime.
Yeah. Because you're trying to go in, you close your eyes, you're going through it, you're experiencing it, and then the person next to you is also experiencing it, but he happens to be a little louder.
Yes.
And just, say some random shit that doesn't align with your vision, and it throws you off. And that's a little test right there, right?
Yeah.
But
it happened to me one of the nights. One of the guys that was next to us, he wouldn't be quiet. I guess he was just nervous, or that's the way he coped with himself, like going into the medicine. He was just chatting.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this guy needs to be quiet because I'm already creeping into my pinta,
Yeah.
And, I kind of went into La Pinta feeling that emotion, like that. I was kind of feeling like a negative vibe.
Angry.
And it took me a while to get out of it,
Let
man.
it go?
Yeah, it took me a while. I had to get out. I purged a few times, and then it just like, okay, let's start the night. But yeah, it's
I found one of the, I don't know why I ended up on this page, but it does go with the spiritual one. Would you like to share one of the visions that impacted you the most in that ayahuasca trip?
One that impacted me the most. Oh man, there's a few of them. Man, I had a few of them. I guess one of them was on my first night. I had this vision of meeting or hugging, kind of congratulating, celebrating with one of the guys that was there, Carlos. Right, we're just kind of making like a business deal, kind of that type of feeling,
Okay, a vision of that. Okay.
And I didn't even know what his background, or I didn't know Carlos. It was just, hey, he's the guy next to me. We're kind of sharing this moment together.
Okay, okay.
And it kind of gave me this like a confirmation that me and him were gonna do a business deal together. And,
yeah, fucker, you're gonna do a deal.
And I'm like, dude, I don't even know this guy. Like, what are we? And like, dude, right now we're working together.
Jungle Boys.
The Jungle Boys. Yeah. So right now we're like, he's a big he's a big push in my business. And I'm thankful for meeting him, and just coming together in that beautiful ceremony of Viaje. So that was the first night. That was my first night and biggest highlight, where I'm like, wow, man, this thing. But again, I had some traumas too that I wanted to kind of, seal and forget kind of deal. And I did. Address them and kind of like fix them, within me. And I did. I'm glad, the last night, it took 4 nights.
Oh yeah.
4 nights to kind of get it out,
Yeah.
And it helped me, bro. It really helped me. Like, I'm thankful for it. And I just came back with all this like new knowledge, man. Like this new perspective towards life. Even after doing combo twice, you come back with a different mentality.
Are you comfortable with sharing the branch one?
Yeah. Yes. Sorry. Yeah. So that was my 4th night actually. So this tree I connected with this tree for 3 nights. That tree represented myself. So that tree was Adrian. And it was a dry tree, bro. It was a dry tree. I saw it dry until the top of the tree was kind of like glowing. It was green. It was. So for 3 nights, I kind of connected with that tree. Towards the 4th night, like when I had to release a lot of shit, one of the branches, it kind of represented my son Julian, my first one, right? And I'm kind of, I like to play rough with him, get on, and kind of more of a like a strict attitude with him.
Because you want him to be chingon.
I want it to be like that's the only thing I know. Like that's the way I was raised, so that's the only thing I know. It's like, so it's our first kid. So that was my I guess way of parenting in the beginning, so that kind of hurt me. It took a big toll, I guess till that night. I always had that shit inside of me, like, fuck, man, I wish I can go back and fix stuff. But yeah, going back to the branch, that branch represented my son, right? And I was kind of like apologizing to this branch, kind of saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry for not understanding you, kind of not knowing your whatever. So I kind of wanted to hug the branch, kind of like, and I kind of pulled them like the way I usually do, and the branch just cracked. It cracked, and I'm like, oh shit, like I broke him, right? In my head, I'm like, I broke my son. So then I just heard like a voice within me saying like, you see, Wade, like he doesn't like that shit. Like he doesn't like to play rough. He doesn't like you talking, all mad and pissed and da da da. So I was like, oh fuck.
Okay.
So it was like,
be gentle.
Yeah, be gentle to him. He doesn't like that. He's a big dude, but it doesn't mean that he's a rough motherfucker. So literally, like, I went back to it and I started just like being gentle with it, and it gave me that confirmation that bro, this is what I like, like. Mm-hmm. So it was amazing, bro. It was amazing. And then every branch meant something, my family, my life, my business, and health, everything. So it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And then like towards the end or in the middle of the night, like I felt like I had to give something back to the tree. Yeah,
so like I imagining some shit. Go ahead.
So I felt like I had to give like mi ofrenda, right?
Yeah.
So I fucking pull out the cock and start taking a piss there. So I'm taking a piss, like, and everybody around's like going through their pinta, but I'm connecting with this tree.
Thank you, tree. Here's my piss.
Here's my ofrenda, bro. So I'm like, you know what? I left a piece of me.
But that's a purge right there.
Yeah, that's a type of purge. So I threw up. I cried. I fucking pissed. I let everything go, and to me that taking a piss there was kind of like, all right, this is my offering. I'm a part of me staying here,
Hey, Adrian, I'm very thankful that you're my friend. I wanna. Never mind. It's not a friend that way.
Oh yeah. Te voy a mear. Little golden shower.
All right, Adrian Kelly is in the building.
Right. No, but yeah, that's
serio.
That's my fourth. Yeah. And then again, I mean, it was 4 nights, so
by then we're already.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. Very beautiful experience. And the people there, again, I can't thank them. Like, man, it's like your abuela, or if you never felt that love from your grandparents, like it was there, you felt it. The love from your tias, if you never had love from your tias, it was there, all the helpers, all the guys that got, the yahe together. Yeah. That helped us with the maletas, man.
Yeah, big team.
Can't wait to go back and give something back, yeah. It's, you just feel this attitude of gratitude.
For real, you see like what little they have, and they're more grateful than we are with as much as we have here.
Exactly. And I was telling my wife, we spent a week sleeping in hammocks, right? So you weren't comfortable. It was I'm not gonna say the most uncomfortable shit in the world, but you were not comfortable. You're always moving,
After being up all night on some ayahuasca, you get comfortable because you're beat by then.
Como caiga. Yeah. So I came back kind of like enjoying not feeling comfortable, right? If it makes sense. Like,
yeah, okay.
Like if I go to sleep, like I'm okay by not having because I sleeping with the biggest cobija, no matter if it's summertime or whatever. Like I'm okay right now sleeping with the lightest shit and sleeping in the couch versus having my space in the bed, So it's the little things, the little things, the food, we didn't eat, gourmet luxury food. We had the most humble, what do you call it? Home style food, So yeah, it's a eye opener for sure. These people still sleep on the floor. They depend on the water from the river to shower, to wash their clothes, to everything, to drink
Yeah, I saw
water.
a little girl like literally just the blanket on the floor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's like,
no
fuck,
complaints.
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
And over here we have everything, and you're complaining because I don't know, the light is too bright or whatever.
My macchiato, bro, it wasn't upside down.
You see? Yeah. So it's definitely a.
Do that shit.
Yep.
All
Another
right.
one.
Oh, you got one more? Another one? What? Another vision?
Another vision. You had so many, man. I think I seen. I don't know if it was. I don't know if it was my ancestors or the beginnings of my lineage or whatever.
Oh.
But I've seen some old faces, like some classic statues.
That you don't know where they come
I
from.
don't know where they come from. I can say, are these Mayan? Are these Aztec? Are these, who are you? So it kind of, and still I'm in question, like, who were those people?
I think
Like,
ancestors
ancestors.
letting you know, like, thank you for being like the first one and for coming back to us.
Yeah.
Because with time, with generations, I think that tradition gets lost, and then we forget who we are. Like,
Exactly.
the kids of my kids, and on and on. They might even forget, like, you know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah.
Like, go back to your country type of shit. Like,
Exactly.
hold up, let's take it back. Where did it all start? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
yeah, and there's traditions that have been going on for hundreds, thousands of years. No, I mean nobody knows the exact year. That Hale was first drank.
what made you do it? Like, you know what? Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna cut this,
Right.
This vine or root or what?
Yeah, the root vine. Yeah, the ayahuasca vine.
And put it in water, boil it, and drink that.
Exactly.
Or you can like pound the fuck out of it
You can
and
do it this
don't
way.
boil it, and then just filter it, drink that.
Right.
Or you could slow cook it, and it'll become honey,
Exactly.
honey like,
Uh-huh.
and you can get on a sick one with that. So,
I didn't try the honey, man. I know you guys did, but no, I
Yeah.
didn't. It wasn't that I was scared. I think it was more of a
You got what you needed?
no.
Because that's how I felt when I was like, I don't want to, because I always felt those tendencies of feeling like I'm missing out on a high. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wanted to respect the experience by not getting up to drink more just because I
Got it.
can.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Those, I was like, I'm going to practice now, like putting those characteristics to rest. Like,
Right.
oh, because I always felt that, se van a acabar las chelas, let me go get another one.
ándale.
Let me go get another one. And that feeling of like lack.
Yeah.
There's enough medicine. If I need it, I could come back in the future. I feel I got what I needed, and I'm just going to write it out.
Yep.
And I did the honey, but that was enough, to.
Yeah, my first night I only had one cup,
Mm-hmm.
and that cup, the effect lasted the whole night. So I was like, wow, like felt kind of like a lightweight. Well, other people had 4 or 5 cups, on their first night.
Yeah, I wish I would have known that it enhances the visions way better if you close your eyes. Because I was
To me,
the first night
the
I was
opposite.
oh wow, I
Yeah,
didn't know.
I had the best visions with my eyes open.
I had the best ones with my eyes closed.
Okay, you see, it's different.
So
for
the first
everyone.
night I was just trying to like I had my eyes así, güey, todo pendejo, like looking for it.
Yeah,
And that's the thing about it too. It's like it
yeah. If you're searching for it, yeah,
it just I don't know how to I don't understand it. Had to be a woman, huh? Like,
bro.
hard to understand you.
All I remember the first night is like hearing shit from like far away, and then just out of nowhere, just boom, you're in the zone. You're in a different dimension, right? And everything's slow. You hear everything in echo, and then that's the first thing I seen. Those I think it was like 4 different faces, like statues, old faces, and then I seen El Castillo de Cuculcán, so the pyramid of Chichen Itza. That thing just came out of nowhere. And I'm like, wait a minute. So that's why I thought, these people are Mayans,
Okay.
So I kind of put 2 and 2 together, and then I'm like, am I a fucking Mayan? Do I come from Mayan, roots? So then you start kind of digesting your whole visions while you're going through it, and then you're asking yourself questions. You're answering back, so it's,
I tripped out because I was like, who am I talking to? Oh, it's me. Oh, shit.
yeah.
Ah.
It's like, wow, you have the answers for this. Fuck yeah. All right. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have the answers for all your questions, all your doubts,
Yeah.
they're all within you. You just have to kind of discover yourself, find yourself, and trust yourself, let go. Sometimes we're fucking hard on ourselves, trying to be the somebody that we're really not, trying to impress, the world out there, and you forget about worrying about yourself. Like,
Yeah. You think that's going to get you something, and then, yeah.
Yeah, it's I was like that for a long time, trying to always find some acceptance, right, through from somebody else.
I have a company.
Yeah, it's like, hey, yeah, and it's like none of that shit matters, none of it. So
Now you have another company. If you want to dive into that.
Yeah. So we thanks to all this, the whole medicine practice, I started getting ideas. I started like kind of brainstorming my life, from the way we eat at home, the way I wanted to, I want a different schedule for the kids. So everything just kind of like, came to me, and I wanted to make a change like right away,
Like my ideal life looks like this.
Yes.
Or that. Okay.
But I wasn't like, I guess, arrogant about it. Like, oh, I'm gonna make this shit happen today, because I was more like, okay, this is a plan. I want to transform my life slowly but surely, right? And the most positive way.
Yeah.
The most healthy way, because sometimes the ego kind of creeps up, and you have to like, kind of remind yourself like, hey, wait, calmate. So, I started getting ideas, and then I thought about offering a service to the Drayage community. Just like any registration services that offer you to help you how to open up your LLC or your corporation.
Yeah.
Or DMV services that help you with registration and all that. I thought about open up a company to help Drayage companies fight Per Diem. So whoever needs help with that, or whoever doesn't know how to fight it, or doesn't have a clue what Per Diem is, then we can assist with that and help them. So I had that idea.
Per Diem was the one that threw you under in the company?
It was one of the biggest ones. One of the biggest ones.
Okay.
And I found that a lot of companies, have Per Diem debt, and it's always there. It's always there, just like chassis fees. So if you don't handle them in a timely manner, then they can add up, eventually get you shut out. And then, you're running like crazy trying to, pull containers with different SCAT codes. So I just came up with this idea, like, why can I offer this to the community out there? And, try to save a company, save one company at a time. Versus, sometimes they have to pay out of their pockets, 100,000, 200,000, and that's probably all the money they have. They have to dig into their savings. They have to borrow money just to stay alive, So I thought about, let's go into it. Let's see if we can help. And we started this company, and it's been a learning experience, a successful learning experience. Just learning how much we can help, like with the idea that we came up with, how much we can help the Drayage community, because there's a lot of companies out there that are suffering from, again, paying out of their pockets, not knowing how to dispute. So we kind of feel like we're here to save the day, not to everyone, right? Not for everyone, but at least the companies that are suffering from this problem.
Did you mention the name of or do you want to mention it later?
Yeah, so the company's name is Mulligan Dray Solutions.
That Mulligan threw me off. So what can you tell the people what that means?
Mulligan, yeah. So Mulligan it's a golf term. If you're familiar with golf, let's say you're gonna start off with your round. So first hole, you go on the tee box, you put your ball down with your tee, and you hit your first ball. and it's your first ball shit. It goes into the woods or into the street, wherever you're playing.
Okay.
So your second shot, your redemption shot, it's called your mulligan.
Oh, okay.
Right? So we're here for your redemption shot. We're here to save you from your first try. And our slogan is, "Well, let us put you back on the green." So let Mulligan put you back on the green.
Catchy.
Yes, sir.
So what's your mission statement? Do you have one? Or would you come up with one?
Yeah, I'll eventually come up with one. But at the end of the day, I want these companies to stay afloat, stay alive, and just have that extra cash to, incentivize their employees, buy new equipment, infrastructure. If they want to buy a new location, move into a warehouse, whatever extra cash flow they have, then it can come from saving money from per diem.
And what does shutting down a company because of excessive per diem fees look like? Starting with the shutout and all that, like those steps that come with it. Can you go through them?
Yeah.
And what they mean?
Right. So a company should always know how much they owe, right, in per diem. And they always should have their contact info updated on the UIA so they can receive the per diem invoices, right? So they're aware of what they owe.
For each steamship line that they haul for?
Right.
So haul from or whatever?
Right. So as long as you have your email updated on the UIA, that same email address is used for all the steamship lines. So whatever communication needs to be done.
They're all connected with it.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Whatever information needs to be sent out to you, right? It gets sent out to that email address that's on the UIA.
Oh, okay.
So sometimes when you first start a company, you're using the email you used back in high school, sexyboy69@gmail.com, and you forget your password, So then you start receiving the shutout notice, and you're like, wait a minute, I don't have these invoices. So then you go back to UIA, you check, and oh shit, I have sexyboy69 in there. So that's number one. Make sure you have your contact info up to date, so you know that you're getting your per diem invoices up to date. So pretty much, if you're like in the shutout, so if you owe per diem, they'll send statements. They'll send you a statement. They'll say, "Hey Pancho, just to let you know, you have this open statement with, I don't know, Maersk Line, whatever." They'll give you all the open invoices. If you ignore it, then they send a few reminders, maybe 3-4 reminders before actually threatening you they're going to send you to collections and whatnot. So when it's time for shutout, they send you like a pre-shutout notice, right? Saying that if you don't take care of these invoices within this date, you're going to get a shutout notice.
For that line?
For that line.
Okay.
So, and it's usually a week. So it's like, fuck, if you owe $300,000, you have to take care of that $300,000 within that week. Either come up with payment plans or pay the money.
They do payment plans?
Some do.
Okay.
Some do. And if you have a good history with these steamship lines, meaning like you're not, coming up with payment plans and then missing and, just bullshitting them, they'll work with you.
What amount do they let you reach before they start the procedure to shut off? Is that what it's called? For the
shut out. Yeah, shut out.
Shut out?
Shut out, yeah.
Okay.
So every steamship line is different.
Okay.
Yeah.
What have you heard, more or less?
Oh, man. MSC, I've seen some that reach almost 1 million.
They wait that long and then they surprise you?
Yeah.
What do they gain from that? Because that company, you don't know if they got it like that. They might just have to go out of business. Why would they risk getting a payment versus telling them sooner?
Yes. And then most of the time, come on, are you going to have $1 million liquid cash just there sitting just to pay? No. And most of these invoices are over a year old. Some are 2 years old. Your customer's gone already. Their books are closed for that year. They're not gonna open them just to, clear that invoice. So it's very
it varies.
It varies, bro. Yeah. Some and then I've seen the most strict one, and they're good with what they do is evergreen. They're on you. If you're past due after your 30 days, they'll send you the shutout notice. They'll shut you out, and they don't reinstate until you pay everything. So even the new invoices that you receive within the time you were shut out, they'll make you pay those.
With your company, did you miss the invoices, or you knew they were coming, but you just didn't know how to pay them?
I didn't know how to handle them.
Oh.
I didn't know we had to like give them back to the customer, or did we have to pay for them, or it was a process I never had. I never.
Okay.
In my dispatching roles, I never took care of per diem or demurrage. It was always like send an email to customer service, they'll handle it. Or
So how can a company protect themselves? A new company, like if they want to cover it themselves to a degree, right? Because as you grow, it gets harder. I'm assuming to keep track of all that shit. But what's the basic tip?
like I said, just having your contact info updated.
Right.
That's number one.
Okay.
And then make sure you're receiving them. If you receive a statement with like 15 invoices that you never received, like that's alarming. So send them an email, just confirm, hey, what email address do you have on file, and always confirm, so you're receiving your invoices. And again, if you need help, disputing, fighting, anything, any questions you have with per diem, you can always find us on Instagram under Mulligan Dray. Or you can send us an email to info@mulligandraysolutions.com.
Do it.
Yes, sir.
Are there levels to the per diem game or world other than just for carriers? Do like customers have to fight that too?
Oh yeah. I deal with those trucking companies.
Yeah.
Brokers, forwarders. I mean, they all receive per diem. It just depends on the contract they have with the steamship line, with that BOL.
So the customer can have maybe more days on their contract.
Yes, depends on the
carrier less. So
no. It's no. It just depends on that actual BOL. Let's say, like the bigger accounts, like the bigger volume accounts, they're allowed more than the 10 days. I've seen some go 30 days. So it just depends on the contract that you.
So the size plays a role in how much time. Oh, so they do take it into consideration. You'll probably be a little bit busier.
Exactly.
With that. Okay. Huh. But what's the average for these companies? Because there's the majority of the U.S. is in the trucking companies. It's less than. I heard it at the SoCal supply chain meetup.
What, the free time that they're allowed?
The average size of a company is like, I think 6 trucks or less.
Wow. Okay.
So it's an industry dominated by small business. So I guess my question is, do they have not a disadvantage versus bigger companies, which
they do,
yeah,
of
right?
course. Yeah, because bigger companies have, they have an actual per diem department that they have not 1 or 2, but maybe 3, 4 people that oversee everything that comes in.
Right.
Smaller companies, I mean, it's a one-man shop. Sometimes the same driver's receiving the dispatch, she's sending the invoice on the road. You're not gonna have time to go over all this. You have a family to take care of. You have to maintenance your trucks. That's what we're here. For small companies, big companies that are having a hard time dealing with it, we'll help you out. Call us.
Per diem fighting is obviously a thing. So is there such a thing as a demurrage fighting service, or is that something nobody wins at?
Well, I mean, I've won some demurrage before. It's just
which is harder to win.
It's harder, yeah.
Yeah.
It's harder because they have a database of all the appointments that have opened up during your free time.
That you could have.
That you could have, gotten. But yeah, a lot of times you get fucked, and you have to pay demurrage. And again, if you keep screenshots, let's say if there's no appointments for your loadout, and you screenshot it and you send them every day, right? Then yeah, you have a good chance of fighting a demurrage.
But even that's not a guarantee?
Even that is not a guarantee.
Because with per diem, your ammo is the proof, the dates, and right? So why can't that? Okay, it can't be the proof with demurrage because you got to take it take their word for it that there weren't appointments.
Exactly.
So there's no like you're not gonna screenshot an empty
Right.
nothing,
Uh-huh.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So
fucked up.
it is fucked up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. And again, it goes back to having the right software in place.
Mhm.
Dispatch software. You know, make sure you have your empties lined up, your loads that you're gonna pick up, so you won't miss the merge. Yeah. So. Yeah, it's very important. Very important. Spreadsheets, you can easily delete anything, you know. So it's a key. So it's very very important to have a dispatch software. Yeah.
So do you see yourself like opening, like going national, or where do you see the company like in 5 years, or what's your goal?
My goal is to help as many companies as I can. Again, I want to focus on the smaller companies because again, I went through it, and again, that sometimes you have no clue where you're facing.
Yeah.
So just, I guess, being a mentor in that aspect of Per Diem, where I can save their ass from closing down.
Yeah, right.
So just saving as much as many companies as we can. That's our main goal.
So that's crazy because at the time you may have seen it like a loss or a failure, but it kind of pushed you towards this avenue.
Yes.
And now
it's like redemption time. Like
yeah.
And it feels good, man.
Yeah.
It's more of a it's satisfaction, you know, because you're helping, you're saving them. They're actually like they found a solution for the problem, you know.
Yeah.
So it's very, very feels good. Feels
Fulfilling.
very fulfilling. Yeah.
All right. I'm out of questions. So if there's anything you want to add about this or any of the topics we covered before we shut it down, do you have anything you want to share?
Not just want to thank you for the time, for your platform. It's an awesome platform.
Thank you.
And then I want to thank everyone out there that's been helping me throughout this journey. Fernando, Nayeli, Yogesh, Atlantis, Mike, all my friends, all the Carlos, you, Jonathan, everyone out there. Just thank you from the bottom of my heart, my family, my wife, my parents. Just thank you all. I love you guys all. And it's not over. You know, it's the beginning.
Cool.
Mwah.
Mwah, lots of love in the air. Yeah, so where can they reach you one last time? Where can they reach you? Where can they call?
Yeah,
if
so
they're interested?
the fastest way via email.
Okay.
So info at Mulligan, Mulligan.
No, you put Mulligan. L-I.
Okay, so info at
Oh, my bad.
Mulligan.
Yeah, you're right.
Mulligan.
Oh.
Dray Solutions. DRAYSOLUTIONS.com. Info at MulliganDraySolutions.com.
There it is, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.